Yes, you did read that correctly. Yes, we did do an Ironman 70.3 at 120 kilograms with no training at all. Let's jump into my thoughts from a couple of weeks back. We'll jump into the main video and we'll see how and if I got through this. Hope you enjoy.
Folks, this is my pre-thought footage for the half Ironman, the first 70.3, the first challenge on the MuzLghtYr YouTube channel. So we're going to do a 70.3 at 120 kilograms, no training, we're just going to fucking do it. So I think the swim's going to be pretty easy. So I used to be a good swimmer. I think we'll be able to do the swim. It's like 79 lengths, I think. It's 1900 meters. It can't be 79, it must be 76. Anyway, whatever it is, I think that's going to be quite easy. I think that's going to be a sub 40 minute, which is great. Then after that's the bike. The bike's 90k. I think it's just going to be absolute boredom for me. I think it's just going to be get on the bike and fucking do it. I'm hoping to keep like a 20 kilometer per hour pace, because then I can come in just under 4 hours, I hope. Oh no, it would be just over 4 hours, sorry, just over 4 hours. And that will just be boredom, I think. I've got friends coming down who will join me on the bike next to me and things, so hopefully they'll help me egg on. And then I think the run's going to be killer. Half marathon, run/walk. I'm probably going to walk a lot of it because I don't want to blow my knees out being 120 kilograms. I don't want to damage my meniscus in my knee. But yeah, let's hope it goes all right. I think it's going to be good. I think it's all mental. I think that it's super doable and we're so much more capable than we think we are as humans. So for all the big guys out there, we can do it. Hopefully by the end of this video, you'll see I can do it. It means at least you can do it. Or you can do something. If it's not half, you can do something, right? Anyway, wish me luck. Whack a like below, because I've gone through some torture to make this video, and enjoy the rest of the video. And we'll catch you on the other side. Just got to the pool. Not really feeling the love for this now. It's kind of real. We're a bit nervous. Just gonna have to do the best for this first starting bit, and well, swim's the best bit. This will be the strongest part, so see you on the other side.
Welcome to the swimming part of the video. Obviously we've got the rollers, the small snippets of me actually doing the swim on screen now for your viewing pleasure. So we're just going to do kind of a bit of an overview and my thoughts on the swim in general. To kind of top line this, I'm really happy with how the swim went. We aimed to do a sub 40. Spoiler alert, we smashed that. That was kind of a very unoptimistic line. I thought sub 40 was super doable, but getting a win under your belt early in these sort of events feels really good. Like, obviously it's a long day. The total time will be towards the end of the video when I talk about the total time of activity, but getting a win straight away and beating one of the smaller goals for this really put me on the right foot going forward, and I'm really happy that we did that. So let's look at actual pacing and how we did this. So we did an average pace of 153. This does take in per 100 meters. Sorry, we're all speaking in per 100 meters for this. Obviously, it's 1900 meters. There's 19 100 meter individual relays, but we did it back to back in the whole thing. So per 100 meter, our average pace was 153, roughly. This does take into account right at the end when I finished. I was borrowing my partner's watch, her Apple Watch. I've never used an Apple Watch before, and I didn't know how to stop it. Obviously, she's kind of giving me the rundown of how to stop this, but apparently you have to eject all the water, then you can click pause, stop workout. Super frustrating. I really struggled, and I probably pratted around with it for a good 30-40 seconds, so do take that into consideration when we talk about finish time. But averaging 153, very happy with that. We went out pretty much on pace at a 151 for the first 100 meters. Then we really got into our groove and did our fastest 100 on a 138 for the second 100 meters. So that was a pretty good pace. Obviously, we've got another 1700 meters ahead of us to get that done. Then we kind of averaged out. Our 400 was really slow at 2 minutes and 8, and that was the point where it kind of hit me where I was like, this is actually a decent length swim. It's not nothing, right? The last time I was in the pool was January, so that's like 6 months ago, and that wasn't really that hard. That was probably just like a wee 1 mile in, jump out the pool, call it a day. It wasn't really anything to this sort of level. I say to this sort of level, it's only another 300 meters on top of that, but I was doing those broken. It wasn't all straight at once. So it's a big difference. And I had a lot ahead of me during this day. So really happy with the times. Obviously, the last 1900 meters, we finished on a 2:36, and that's because of the watch. That would have been definitely, if we were going on at average pace, it was probably a good 50 seconds faster, so we can just take that into consideration when we actually look at our final time. Our final time was 35 minutes and 2 seconds as of the watch, but we were actually well under 35 minutes, so we've smashed our goal of sub 40, and as I said, a nice little win to start. Active calories burnt during this period, we burnt 397 calories as of the watch, and our heart rate peaked at 172 beats per minute. So we were probably zone 2 for the majority of this stint of the triathlon. Some stuff I would like to comment on. Obviously, this is very, very different to open water swimming. We're in a pool, we've got tumble turns, there's no one around us like actually making it difficult. I've heard horror stories of people getting battered, swam into during a triathlon, and I think that happens more often than people let on. So let's be very honest here. This would not have been my time if we were actually doing a full 70.3 Ironman. This is just my time doing it by myself, alone, in an environment where it's affordable. Some of these Ironman sign-ups and things are like £500-600 a go. So we've just ran it in the gym. I just wanted to prove that it was mental. Obviously the swim's quite exciting. We're in the water. It's great fun. We'll talk more about the mental into the next one. But yeah, to recap the swim, really happy. Nice win before we get into kind of the harder stuff. As I said earlier, the swim's by far my strongest suit for this. I do think it goes swim, bike and run, so it kind of descends for me, so I don't know if that's a good thing or not. But as I said, really happy. I definitely had more in the tank here and could have done more, but obviously I've not done these sort of distances before, so we did pace ourselves, and we paced ourselves quite generously. So if we were to do it in real life, I think we would be under 40, but maybe only just under 40 at like a 39 something, or maybe a high 38, but we'll see. Anyway, just coming up now is you'll see where I finished. So this is me coming into the final stint. I've stopped at poolside at the wall. Here I am. You can see me in that second lane in, just playing around with the watch. And all this time is time burnt that hasn't stopped, hasn't tracked that the workout on the watch is finished, which was super frustrating. I would have loved it to say 34 on the watch, but we are counting 35.2 or 35 minutes 2 seconds as the final time. Anyway, into the bike. Thank you for joining.
Folks, welcome back. We are post swim. We're now on the bike. You might even see us on the camera. I'm filming, chatting to you lot. Swim went really well. It was a sub 35, which was kind of the goal. The watch didn't say that, but I'll chat more about that. You would have heard my rant about that already. But anyway, we're in the gym, silent. A couple other people doing some weights. We are 3.6k into the cycle. Yeah, it's going well.
The bike. So this is where we are really kind of getting into that mental fatigue now. Well, not right now. As you see, we're in high spirits just at the start there. Very happy with the swim, and then coming onto the bike. As I said in the swim part, getting that little win early is really important for momentum and morale. And then we hit the bike strong. We walked straight into the gym. The bike was free. We just jumped straight on it. There was not much rest in between. Obviously, we had the rest of getting changed and then driving actually to the gym, because it's just slightly down the road from where I did the swim. So it's not an accurate transition at all, but for the sake of this, it's kind of a bodge fix. A lot of this is bodge fix. You'll see we have issues later on with timing and other things like that. We've already had issues on the watch time for the swim, but really it's just about doing it for me. The time will not be accurate to the minute, but it'll be it won't be accurate to the second, but it'll be pretty accurate to the minute. So I'm happy with the overall finish time. This here though, we finished the bike in 220 minutes and 50 seconds, which is just under 4 hours. It's 3 hours, 40 minutes and 50 seconds. The goal was to do a sub 4 hour, and we smashed it. 20 minutes down. I definitely had more to give. Looking at the kind of the watch graph back, we were only zone 2 the whole time, which was, I don't want to say disappointing. It's probably unfair to say it was disappointing, because I was happy with it. But we did kind of leave a lot on the table that we could probably go after if we did another one or did another triathlon. The main issue with this was boredom and the seat hurting. You'll hear me in just a second when we get to the halfway mark. There's another little interval clip where I'm just sore. My arse is sore from the seat. But I guess that's what it is to be 120 kilograms and just be sat on a seat for basically 4 hours. The actual strain physically, aerobically, on the muscles, absolutely fine. We pushed through and it went really well. So very happy. So I'll leave you to hear from halfway MuzLghtYr and enjoy his thoughts.
Halfway through the bike, feeling fine, legs feel good. Seats becoming uncomfortable, but it's only another less than probably an hour or so, hour and a bit jump change. See you soon.
So the biggest struggle of the bike is the mental aspect. So this is something I was chatting with friends about, is that yes, in some areas this is a lot easier doing it like this. Like for example the pull, we've got the tumble turns, push off the wall. The bike as well, to a certain extent, like there's no real elevation. The difficulty doesn't really change, right? Saying that, on the flip side, you won't have any downhills. The bike is consistent the same. It never changes. The input never changes. Unless I'm going to change it, which I didn't. I left it very solid, the same for the effort. So yes, it's easier in a lot of regards, like the actual physical regards. But when we look at the mental regards, it's a lot harder as well. I am alone. I'm in a gym by myself. There's no one else around. I've got my headphones on. We had a wee chat with Ethan earlier, as you saw right at the start of the bike, who was running the gym that day. But it's just me. There's no one around me, no one pushing me on, and there was supposed to be some boys coming down. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it due to like work commitments and other things like that. But really, it's a very lonely thing to do this. And I did say it was all mental from the start, and I think that the metrics of the actual data show that. Like, we're in stage 2 for the majority of the bike. The last kind of, let's say, I don't know how far it was, the last 10k of the bike, I really pushed it, and my heart rate went up to like 191, high 180s, because I wanted to get like a decent time and a good finish, another wee win before we went into the run. But really, we were zone 2 the whole time. So physically and aerobically, it wasn't hard. It was just the boredom. I think that one of the great things about this was I'd cut the whole day out. I knew I was already had the day off. Like, I've had the day off work. I'd planned it in advance. So the question I had to ask myself is, if I'm not here, what else am I doing? So that made it a lot easier to be like, we are doing this. It doesn't matter when we finish. There's no time goal. We just have to finish. I did pretense the gym and speak to Ethan beforehand and basically say, look, if I'm not finished by 9 o'clock, that's when the gym shuts. A wee bit of an early finish, but it is what it is. Will you keep the lights on for me, or are you just going to kick me out? And he said he will stay till I'm finished, which was nice to know. But at this point, we're over halfway in the bike. I knew I was finishing well before 9 o'clock, which is really nice. It kind of spurred me on. Again, another win. There was no real kind of detriment to finishing quickly because I knew I was going to finish well within the time. Here you can see this is where we start to amp it up and really push it. So going back to kind of bodging this, obviously it wasn't last minute. We did plan it quite a bit. There was a wee bit of planning involved, but we've not taken it really seriously. So the bike, when we had got to the bike, the Techno Gym membership had run out, so we had to turn it off at the wall, restart it, and then it finally sprung up. And I don't think this bike's ever been used for this sort of distance before. So when we got to 220 minutes and 50 seconds, it kind of just crashed. It stopped at a distance of 88.65. And you can see me videoing the watch and taking photos and being like, we're at 220 minutes, but it's not going any further. So I just keep pushing, keep pedaling. You'll see where I took a photo of the watch. I'll try and put that on the screen for you so you can see that, it was paused. There is a video of me literally videoing the screen, videoing my legs cycling, and then re-videoing, which you'll see in a second. Super frustrating because I wanted it to say 90 kilometers on the bike, but it doesn't. I know I finished personally, and I know I finished well within that 220, probably 2 minutes earlier because I didn't notice it initially that it stopped. But this is one of the things of using old gym equipment and not paying £600 to race and have a proper loop and a proper circuit. But it is what it is. So you'll just see here the video. Very frustrating, but I know I finished and I did it well. And we finished well within our goal of 4 hours. So I'm very happy again. Another win for the bike. Going into the hardest part now. So we will see you in the run. The run. The hardest part for me. And it will be the hardest part for a lot of the bigger guys if you are planning on doing one of these, or even just a smaller triathlon. Any win's a win, remember. I just wanted to prove to myself that a 70.3 Ironman is all mental. It's doable. If you take the time, it's doable. So the run itself, let's be honest, we didn't really run this. We walked the majority of it. As I said right at the start, I didn't want to blow my knees out. I still got a lot of training to do, a lot of weight to lose. So if I did a half marathon and actually run it, I can run it aerobically. I know I can run it. But if I smash my meniscus up in my knees because of the weight I am, it would just ruin the rest of the training for the year. Like, a meniscus repair it's a long recovery for a meniscus repair, and often there's not really much surgeons can do about it. So we did walk a lot of it. You'll see right at the end, we did run a chunk as well. We ran the last kind of 3K, I think it was we ran, and we ran at like 9.5 kilometers per hour, which was, I could probably hold that for quite a while. But the majority was done at kind of 5.5 to 6 kilometers per hour. We did drop down not frequently, but once in a while to kind of 4.5, 4.3, just to kind of give ourselves a wee rest. The biggest issue I'm going to call it the run. The biggest issue with the run was my feet were sore and my knees were sore. Like, aerobically, I was absolutely fine. It's just heavy walking. But the biggest problem was my feet hurting, which is quite embarrassing, really, but it's the truth. And we are very honest and open on this channel. So, yeah, very happy with the run. We finished in, 228 minutes and 11 seconds. That is actual finish time. This is the only leg of the triathlon we didn't have major hiccups, like recording times with. The distance was 21.01 kilometers, if it matters, but really it was 21 kilometers. Something I will note is I was walking. I did the first 1.3 kilometers, and I dropped my bottle on the stop button, the emergency stop. So I had to restart. I was not doing this and not having it say on the distance 21.00 kilometers. So I actually did like 22 and a bit kilometers this day, but I refused to have the final leg of this not read the correct distance on it. So I'm not making excuses. It is what it is. My own mistake. I chose to redo it. I could have taken a photo of it and then restarted and done 20, but I chose not to. Again, this is all just mental. But we've taken the day off. Where else are we going to be, right? At this point, I am really bored now. Again, no one else is here. No one else is cheering me on. It's just myself. The plan was Gary from Thai. You've seen Gary absolutely put the beat down on me before in the Thai sessions, was going to come. He's actually done a full Ironman out in Portugal. Absolutely nailed it. So he was going to come down and give us some support. But we were so far ahead of pace that he arrived after we finished. So I told him, look, I'm probably going to be here till 9 o'clock. Like, till the gym closes. I didn't know what time I was going to do it in. Obviously, we had hopes of it being X or hopes of it being Y, but I didn't know what the time was going to be. So we finished just before 6 o'clock. I think we finished at like 5:54. I can't remember the exact time we finished, but obviously there was rests in between. We could probably work it out, but let's be honest, it doesn't actually matter. And Gary turned up at like 6:06 or something like that. It was literally, I was finished. But it was quite funny, as he came in, you can see, so directly opposite me at my 6 o'clock from where I'm walking is where the gym entrance is. But I was sat at the end of the treadmill with my head down, like just exhausted. I'd done 8 hours of intensive exercise, and he came in thinking I'd quit, like thinking I was out, and that was the opposite. We weren't out, we were finished. We'd finished before Gary had even arrived, and that was so good. And he was just stunned. Like, he didn't think that, not that he didn't think we could do it, He didn't think we were going to finish in that time, and that made me really happy. So as you can see in the video now, we've started the running. We did escalate the running. We didn't just go in 9.5 straight away. We went to like 6.5, then 7, then 7.5. I think we jumped up to 8.5, and we got to, obviously we finished at 9.5. I think that was the last kind of, how far was it? Probably the last 0.5k. We did 9.5. But yeah, obviously you can see my running technique is shocking. Something to note as well, this would again be very different outside. We had no incline on this. And we could rest our hands on the side rails and on the front of the treadmill. So that does take some weight off of your feet and knees. Obviously if I weighed less, that probably wouldn't have been a problem. But weighing what I do, it was, my feet were sore. Being a bitch. But we finished. Anyway, going back to the actual point of if we were running outside, there would be elevation, there'll be other things. So it's a very different game. And if I was going to redo one, I'd want to do some training first of all. I want to lose a chunk of weight. Maybe when we get to 105, we'll do another one. Who knows? I think that would be quite exciting to do another one and compare what my times were finish-wise. We're going to start and finish. Well, sorry, we're going to wrap up by talking about the finish time. So our total activity time was 8 hours, 3 minutes and 37 seconds. Obviously, we need to take into consideration the swim. The watch didn't work properly and we probably had a good 50 seconds there. And then the bike, we definitely over-egged the bike as well. We really pushed hard to make sure I knew personally we'd gone over 90 kilometers. I wanted there to be no doubt in my mind that we hadn't done over 90 kilometers. That would have destroyed me. Maybe if I only cycled for a minute, I'd be like, oh, well, I've done 90 kilometers when I knew deep down I hadn't. So I know deep down that I pushed for long enough that we finished the 90k, which was really nice. So there is those times taken into consideration. But as we said, this is not like a real 70.3. This is just my dummy makeup 70.3 that is making me feel good that we did it, and to show that it is mental. If you dedicate the time or take the time to do this, you can finish this within 12 hours. All you've got to do is just be dedicated to finishing and not stopping just for stopping's sake. And I think that's one of the problems is people want to finish because they're tired, but not finish because they're done. Here, we finished because we're done, and I'm so proud that we did finish. I don't want to say it's one of the biggest achievements of my life. I think that it's good. I'm happy we got it. It's a nice milestone, but there's definitely still more work to do, and maybe we'll go after that elusive Ironman title one day. One of the problems with doing this is obviously we've been speaking about the Ironman and all this other stuff, and now my reels is just absolutely clogged with Ironman stuff, and it's getting me really hyped to do one. And Gary even said to me, he's like, you better do an Ironman, and a full one at some point. So stay tuned, because we might end up doing a full one. Thinking about that is quite disgusting. Obviously it's 3.8k swim, which I think I could jump in the pool and do that now. It would just be a time thing. As you saw, obviously on the times, we were super consistent. We didn't drop off. We were very much on that kind of 153 average, which was great, sub 2 minutes. And then the bike, that's a long way. 180k, that's a long way. And then a marathon to finish. Are you joking? I think it's super doable. I think that you need to commit like a 6 months to 9 month training block, and then you'll be able to do it, and I'll be able to do it. So I'm not promising anything because I am coming off a high. Like, I'm still living the Vida Loca from this, but it could be in our future to do a full Ironman. It could be. Kind of last points to wrap up here. The day after, or when I got home, my quads were, it was like they were cramped. They weren't actually cramped, but it was like they were cramping up. And I could not barely walk. I got back home, it was fine. I slept on it. The next day, I had shin splints quite badly, but really, it wasn't that bad. The only other stuff is then the Monday afterwards, I trained really hard with John on a PT session. I didn't do any filming, but really hard on a PT session. And the day after that, so the Tuesday after, we did it on Wednesday. So the Tuesday after, 6 days later, I could barely walk. And that's the only thing afterwards. But after kind of a half day, that had all gone. So yeah, injuries weren't bad. We finished in, as I said, 8 hours, 3 minutes and 37, but we probably had some time either side. It would have been above 8 hours, but I'm really happy. Really proud that I finished. I think that we are so much more capable than we let on, and I hope this shows you a lot of it's up here. A lot of it's up there. And if you make the decision to go for it, you'll nail it. Anyway, join us in the kitchen for the wrap up. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate the time. I know it's been a bit of a longer video today, but hopefully you've enjoyed. Thank you. Welcome back to the kitchen, and thank you so much for joining me today in what I consider the best video I have ever made. Well, so far. Obviously, I'll finish up with some thoughts. I just want to start by apologising to my prior self. Do you know, I want to apologise for putting me in this situation. The situation where I'm overweight and having to pull myself out of the trenches. There's still a long, long way to go. 15 kilograms down, or 15 kilograms more to go, is a mountain, and we've stagnated a little bit. We've still got a long way, but it is what it is. And really, do you think I want to be here? Do you think I want to be in the trenches? Want to be in this situation? Do you think I like the consistent, constant grind to do better? If you said yes, you're damn right I do. I love it. And yes, I may have put myself here, but I'm sure as shit gonna get myself out of it. And for everyone who's feeling a bit down, a bit low, not really here for it, just tell me you want to quit. Tell me you're out. Tell me you're done. Put it in the comments below. Tell me you're out. For all the non-quitters, the people that are built for better, I'll see you next week.
Don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.